Hello and welcome back to Pendor Rearmed, and indeed, look at what we got going on here. We've got a massive battle. I wouldn't say massive actually. It's kind of, I don't know, it's about 10 inches. But actually, you know what? Yeah, on a more serious note, we have 325 troops versus 327. Now, here's the thing. We had two Deshar vassals trying to gang up against our Tea and Biscuits war party. And we can't have that, can we? We really don't want to have that kind of behavior around here. Thank you very much. And we're going to ask them to leave. Yes, we're going to ask them to leave with the edge of our swords and the tip of our long poles and all that wonderful stuff. You know how it is. You know how it goes. You know how we roll, don't you? Yes, we roll into them like a cheese wheel down a hill. That's how we do it. Anyway, we'll see if we can maybe do a little bit of damage here. I did obviously level up in the previous episode as well in our wonderful siege that we had, and I'm hopeful that I'm going to be able to do something relatively similar this time around too, but obviously a little bit more difficult to get a weapon in a, in a field battle that can actually get a whole bunch of kills in a safe manner in regards to a siege. Because obviously a siege, if you think about that, it's a lot easier to get kills in a siege than it is in a field battle. That's the reason why we were able to get over 100 kills. I'm actually not entirely sure if we're even going to be getting... Are we going to be getting an achievement for that, by the way? Didn't we get an achievement for 100 kills? I think we got an achievement for 50 kills, but I don't think we got one for 100. So I feel like what we have to do is we have to be a little bit more, well, I don't know, maybe we'll see one, actually. Maybe we'll see one. Maybe it just hasn't given it to us just yet, because it has barely been any time. It's barely been any time at all after the previous siege. And, well, who knows? Maybe we'll get something really, really nice. Obviously, the whole point here is that we really just want to survive as best as we can. We want to get our forces getting as much experience as they possibly can, and well, obviously, as you see right here, massive amounts of, oh dear, yes, massive amounts of George Takei right here. That's exactly what's going on. All right, let's see. Okay, wait. No, we're absolutely fine. We should be absolutely fine if I can just back out of here relatively nicely. I'm actually unsure what is even going on here right here. This is really strange. I would have expected... did I tell everyone to charge already? I must have told them to charge, but I'm not entirely sure. Where are they? Did I tell them to charge or no? Oh, well, never mind. It doesn't really matter. As you can see, we've already eliminated a huge swathe of enemy units. I feel like I didn't tell them to charge, and that's the reason why we were singled out so dramatically there, but that's okay. As I say, not really that big a deal. As I said before, sieges are the way to go if you want to get experience, if you want to farm experience. That's where we really want to end up. Obviously, a siege defense is the ideal thing to get experience, because you could just hide behind the battlements doing as much damage as you want to do. Obviously, it's a lot easier to do that when you have a lengthier weapon. And while we do have a relatively decent weapon as it is a weapon that we can use on horseback to relatively good effect. I mean, you've seen how much damage we've been able to do. I was able to get about 18 kills in this battle, and I wasn't really trying super hard here, because why? There's no real point in me doing that. But you could see here that obviously, if we were to translate a different kind of weapon over into the siege, well, then we would probably be in a even better position. I'm talking about the glaive. I'm talking about one of the lengthier weapons. They are insanely strong. They will be insanely strong. But the question is, when are we going to do that? That's the thing. I don't know. Right now, my main concern is getting some rune armor, in my opinion. I think we should get some rune armor, to be honest. I think that's probably going to be our best course of action. I am going to have to take a look at the stats of the rune armor just to see exactly what we want to go for. I know for a fact that there is, I think, a pretty big disparity between the different kinds of armor, because there's obviously ruby, sapphire, emerald. I believe the emerald armor, I think, is the best from a weight versus protection standpoint, because the ruby armor is the greatest in terms of protection as far as I remember, but it is the heaviest. Now the question is, do we care about the weight? I'm not entirely sure. Do we care about the weight? Maybe we do. Maybe we just want to be a walking tank, or maybe we want to be a bit lighter on our feet. I don't know. Maybe it's going to be easier, but yeah. Anyway, we are going to be done here basically within 5 kills. That should be pretty nice, and then we can move on. Alright, so there it is, 32 renown for us right there, and indeed there are 3 enemies remaining. Okay, I actually have to do this. I'm not a big fan of this kind of thing when it happens in Warband, but there isn't really much that you can do to really stop it. The only thing you can do is auto-resolve, and we know how the auto-resolving goes in Warband. Yes, we definitely don't want to do that. Yeah, you don't want to do that, because then you're going to end up losing some kind of, I don't know, really, really strong unit like a Noldor or I don't know, something like that. And we really would prefer for that not to happen if at all possible. So that's why I'm being very, 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 very careful when I do auto resolves in Warband, because the very few times that I've done auto resolves, it's literally some of the most egregious, terrible stuff that I've ever seen. Basically, some of the worst luck ever. And it's not really luck, to be honest. It's in my opinion, I don't think it's luck. At least I think that there's definitely some background. I don't know, some background coding, or you know, some kind of what is it now? Behavior. That's it. That is definitely causing that to happen. Anyway, we're gonna just accept the money, I guess. I don't really want to lose any additional honor. Am I gonna get my achievement? Am I gonna get the achievement for 100 kills? I actually don't know whether it is 100 kills. Maybe it's 200 or something like that. I seem to recall that there is an achievement for the amount of kills you can get, or maybe it's just 50. Maybe it is literally just 50, and if that is the case, then we've already gotten it. So that's it's actually kind of sad, to be honest. I was kind of hoping that we'd be able to aim for a little bit of a more legendary one, you know. That would be pretty fun. But yeah, well, if not, you know, that's how it goes. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping it will be potentially available. So I guess we'll see. But otherwise, yeah, we're in a great position. We're in a great position right now. Obviously, we have a war against the Dashar. We've taken Valenray, we've taken Windholm and Hrovsund Castle. Obviously, they took Nudar Castle back, which is not exactly great. However, because we are at war against the Dashar, I think it's probably a good idea for us to teach them a little bit of a lesson. So what we're going to do, first of all, is we are going to be making our way over to the... yeah, we need wine, don't we? I think we need wine. We're going to go over to the mines of Al-Aziz. We're going to get two barrels of wine, or two casks of wine or whatever, and we're going to see whether we can get our rune armor. Alright, so we've arrived at the mines, and I've taken a look at the wiki because, let's face it, I'm not going to remember all this stuff, especially considering the fact that in the base version of Pendor, I don't believe you can even get the rune armor this way. There are other ways that you can get the mystical rune plate. Most notably, you can defeat the Noldor. Yes, defeat those 2 unique spawns. Good luck with that. I don't envy you if you decide to go down that route, and otherwise, apart from that, of course, you can do it another way, where you need to get 95 relation with the Noldor and then do some other stuff. Yes, that's a little bit tricky in my opinion, because it takes a lot of time, doesn't it? Yeah, but otherwise, there is another way to do it. Obviously, if you have the complete arsenal, you know, completely installed and everything, then you're going to have a great time. Now, here's the thing. I personally would like to get the Rune Glaive. I think the Rune Glaive would be an absolutely fantastic addition to our, well, to our collection, shall we say. However, I am in a bit of a quandary here, because for me personally, this is so much better. The Rune Plate is going to be such a good investment for us. And I think we're probably going to be doing that. The question is, are we going to be... yeah, I think we will do. We'll do Sapphire, I guess. We'll do Sapphire. Okay, so Mystical Rune Plate. There we go. Spend a Qualis Gem, spend a gold bar. We're going to give some wine to the guy. And then we're going to be having a look at the inventory. Now, here's the thing. We can go for Sapphire, Ruby, Emerald. Ruby is the heaviest, most protection. Emerald is medium, as far as I'm aware, I think. Let me actually just check that real fast. Alright, so actually we're going to be going for Emerald, because technically you could go for Ruby. That's going to require a much higher strength requirement, as far as I'm aware. You're going to need 35 strength to be able to wear Ruby Rune Plate, which is hilarious. I'm not going to do that. And Emerald is 25 strength, and Sapphire is 15 strength. So we'll go with Emerald. And now, so we've just spent 2 of our Qualis Gems. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to just take a quick look at this. As you can see, this is the current stats on the Emerald Rune Plate. 9 to head armor, 73 to body, 32 to leg. You can see the difference is absolutely staggering between these two. However, and now here's the big deal, right? There's actually something more we can do, okay? There's something more we can do to this. And we are going to hopefully be able to do it. Hopefully we'll be able to do it before we get absolutely massacred by someone in the area. Maybe a snake cult army or something like that, but hopefully not. Anyway, we're going to go to the Guild Master, going to get a large pouch of diamonds, and then we're going to be making our way back. I know, I probably should have done that beforehand, but you know me. I was just wanting to be a little bit careful about what I was doing. Can't believe I spent another 2 Qualis Gems, to be honest, because... you could do so much with that. You know, I technically could have gotten about, I don't even know what, another 20, 30 Noldor troops or something along those lines. Would have been pretty insane, but yeah, anyway. Here's some wine fuser. There we go. We're just going to speak to him again. Take a look in the inventory. Boom. Going to enhance it. We've got Viridian Emerald Rune Plate. And that is what we wanted. So, now, this is what we're looking at. It has 16 to head armor, 80 to body armor, and 39 to leg armor, which is insanely massive bonuses here. Actually pretty incredible. So we're going to be wearing that, obviously. I mean, why would we not, right? Why would we not? Now, look at our protection here. Now, the hope that I have, right? The hope that I have with this particular addition to our arsenal is to make it almost impossible for the opponent to kill me that easily, right? Because that's going to mean that I'll be able to inflict so much more damage. I'll be able to do so much more in siege defenses and battles and so on. And we're going to be having a much less difficult time preventing ourselves from being eliminated. So that's kind of the deal, right? That's kind of why I wanted to go ahead and do that. 124 people in Rella Keep, and it's obviously a siege tower. How could I not guess that this was a siege tower? I am going to be doing this. As you can see, this fellow is willing to pay us 21,000. I will say sure, even though I don't really want that. Yeah, I do need to be a bit careful here because they are going to be taking that thing over there. They are going to be taking Hrolfsson Castle, I assume. As you can see, 46,000 dinars is coming our way thanks to the amount of cash that we're getting. Some people actually ask me if Pendor Rearmed is much easier, quote unquote, than the basic version of Pendor. And that is actually not the case. That is not the case. All that has changed is the fiefs and the various enterprises and stuff like that. They do give you more money, but as you have no doubt seen, you need a huge amount of money in general, and if you want it to be a little bit less grindy, then that's the way to go. For me personally, I find that very, very welcome. I do like that quite a bit because I you know, let's face it, I don't really like waiting for money. I don't literally like, you know, I don't like waiting for some time, quote unquote, and literally just waiting for my wages to come around. I find that kind of irritating. So for me personally, I do like it that there's more money coming in because it's necessary. You know, we literally only have 88,000. If I didn't have all this money coming in, it would be just more of a grind, right? It would just be more of a grind. And obviously Pendor Rearmed changes a whole bunch of other stuff, like changes a lot of the enemy units, changes a lot of units in general, and makes things very much different. And so much so that a lot of the actual equipment and things like that has also changed for a lot of the different units. Anyway, this is a siege tower. I hate siege towers with a passion. This is probably one of the things that if I were let's just say if I were to make a mod, right? If I were to make a mod myself, which is, well, let's face it, probably never going to happen, even though it would be something that I would like to do. But let's just say, if I were to make a mod, I would never, ever allow siege towers to take longer than, I don't know, 30 hours or something like that. Or I'd make it so that the modification for the engineering, as in the multiplier for engineering, would make it so that if you have a really high level of engineering, and I'm talking about maybe 6, 7, you know, 6, 7, maybe 8, maybe 9 engineering, that you'd only have to wait about, I don't know, 10 hours or 12 hours or something like that for a siege tower. Because, and now I'm going to say something here which may be shocking, I personally don't believe that waiting for some time and literally just staring at your world map is that exciting. I don't know whether you agree with me. If you do, then that's obviously great. If you don't, then, well, I'm pleased that you like doing that. That's great. You know, that's good for you. However, I personally don't. I would prefer to either go into the siege or to have an army come along or whatever, but many times you don't have that happen. I've had that happen so many times where nothing happens and it's just literally like, okay, I'm just standing here, nothing's happening. I'd like to go in now, please. And apart from obviously the fact that you have now this situation where I'm basically just having to wait here while the siege tower does its thing and moves towards the battlements, I would also like this to move faster, but I don't know whether that's actually possible. But yeah, anyway. Enough of my ranting and, you know, various other complaints that I may or may not have. But, yeah. Anyway, if I were to make a mod, I would probably try to make sure... Oh, I try to make sure I got a jetpack too. Look at that. That was nice. Alright, I like that quite a great deal. We're looking fantastic with our Viridian armor on as well, mind you. And look at that. I actually leveled up. That's pretty fantastic. Hello there, sir. Goodbye. There we go. Let's murder him. Let's try and see if we can do some damage to this guy too. There we go. Yeah, we're actually murdering everything in sight right now. Very, very nice to see that, actually. It's one of those things that you don't really get to see that often in sort of like the later game, because many times you're either going to be all the way at the back of your army because the enemy has crowded you out, or your allies have. Or you're just going to be killed instantly. You know, that can happen too. So, you know, there's that. But yeah, obviously, if I do have another... I think I have another 100,000, right? Yeah, I think I do have another 100,000. So what I could do is we could actually go and upgrade our Ruby Rune Axe. I could actually do that if we wanted to. So that would mean that I'd have to buy another large pouch of diamonds. Let me actually see if I can do something here. Can I jump off here? Yeah, nice. Okay, whew. I was a bit worried there for a second. Oh, hello. I actually didn't see these guys here. I literally did not see them here. Okay, that's quite funny. Yeah, well, that's not too bad. Anyway, point is, now that we have spec'd our other, well, should we say not spec'd, but spent our other Qualis gems, there doesn't seem to really be that much use for cash, with the exception of obviously upgrading our Knighthood Order. You know, funny thing is, though, I obviously showed you the stats of our Knighthood Order, And, well, training doesn't really do anything for us anymore. The only thing that really does do something for us is to continue spending cash. So if I were to spend cash again, I'd need 320,000, which is not even that much, to be honest. It's not that much. So we could technically do something pretty crazy there, but yeah, I'm not sure if we really want to. That's the thing. We have 155,000 right now, which is actually kind of nice. I don't know. I think that's pretty decent. You know what? I don't really want to take anything here. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm not going to take anything here. I don't see the point in that. We're going to be giving this to Mr. Man here. There we go. Mr. Iron Hand even is his name. And what we're going to do is we are actually going to do the thing. We are going to upgrade our weapon. I'm not sure if this is really going to pay off. Like I said, I feel like it might be a bit... is it not worth it? I don't know. I'm not sure what the stats are, and I don't really want to look it up. If I'm honest, I really don't want to look it up because I personally find it quite fun to see what it's going to be without doing that. So I think we're just going to do it. We are gaining a significant amount of cash every single week, and indeed a number of other reasons. Oh dear, Valenray is now under siege. Well, that's not very good. I might be able to make it there in time though, because as far as I'm aware, they do have a... Well, they should, by now, have a relatively decent garrison. Oh, whoops, I actually need to do something here. I need to unequip this. You can't upgrade stuff that you have equipped, so need to make sure that that is the case. That would have been a pretty bad idea, because then you're going to be wasting some wine. Here's some wine for you, sir. There we go. And you're going to... Coils gem, rune weapon, diamonds, not enough. Okay, wait a minute. Does the rune weapon not... Huh. Can you not upgrade the rune weapon anymore? He said that I could. Alright, okay, apparently not. He said that I could do that. Huh. Okay, well, I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, the diamonds sell for 100,000 either way, so I guess it's not that big a deal. Anyway, I'm going to make my way over to Valenray. Hopefully we'll be able to get there in time to defend it. Okay, so I'm actually at Singal instead, and the reason why I'm here is because they literally stopped the siege at Valenray. I don't know why they did that, but as I was on my way there, they stopped it, and I thought, okay, well, we're going to do something a little bit different. And you can see here, we are now going to be attacked by a relatively large army. I have to be a little bit careful of this. I wouldn't mind going into a battle against at least 2 vassals. I'd like not the 3rd though, if we can. Maybe we can... yeah, this is gonna look pretty... It's gonna look pretty harsh. Maybe we can make something happen. A little something here. Can we? You know what? Should I just go in? Should I just go in here? I feel like maybe I should just go in and just have done with it, but I'm a little bit concerned. Okay, well, let me just very quickly level up some of our people here, because, I mean, we really need to, don't we? I haven't actually done this for quite some time because, you know, it gets a little bit annoying for me, you know? It gets a little bit annoying. I'm going to say it, you know? It is a little bit frustrating to do that. And the question is, actually, you know what? No, okay, interesting. So, basically, even though we are helping a claimant, we don't have any of the, shall we say, ruler privileges. As in, we cannot create vassals or anything like that. So, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to speak to some of the people that we've released in the past. And hopefully that will make a difference. I actually don't know. But yeah, as you can see right here, we're going to spec another point into strength here, another point into iron flesh. That's 77 HP. Extremely nice. I could technically go for some other things here, but I don't really see the point in that. Okay, so let's make our way in. and we'll see what we have. 600. Okay, that's actually a lot more than I thought. But okay. Maybe I should have added it all up first, you know. Anything to avoid doing maths. Yes, that's great. Yes, anything to avoid. That's funny. That's funny. Okay, so let's see if we can do something here. Gonna be a little bit problematic, possibly. I mean, we have 100, they have 150. I feel like we should be okay here. Alright, so instead of going into that Dashar 600 battle, we're gonna do something a little bit different, because in that battle, basically what happened was I eliminated a whole bunch of their archers, and then I got absolutely massacred, and I died very, very quickly. And I was thinking to myself, you know what? I don't really want to watch the battle, right? I want to participate in the battle. I want to do some damage. I want to run around, try out and test out my new armor, and try to maximize our presence in the action as much as we can. So what I thought, you know, I'm going to just be a little bit careful here. And so I'm going to see what they decide to do. So I kind of held back a little bit. Then they decided that they were going to besiege Ethos, which I thought, well, really? That is absolutely ridiculous. I'm not going to let them do that. Thank you very much. So I am now attacking them. Now, thankfully, the other two vassals don't seem to be anywhere in sight. So we are now in a situation where we can tackle the hardest one by himself, and then we'll hopefully be able to move on to Valenray, because that is under siege again for some reason. And I believe that's it. Look at that. Yes, absolutely destroyed them. And indeed, I don't think... Yeah, no, I actually think they're running away. Yeah, they do seem to be retreating right now, so that's fantastic in itself. So we don't really need to worry about that too much. And yeah, we are good. Now, I am going to go over to Valenray. Now, the funny thing is, I think... I'm not sure if this is really the case, but I think what's happening is the AI is, quote-unquote, seeing me coming close to Valenray, and they're stopping the siege because they know that we're close. I think that's what's happening here, because they do seem, when we get closer to the location, they do seem to literally just be leaving instantaneously. So I'm kind of now in a bit of a quandary situation, because I'm like, okay, well, what am I supposed to do about that? You know, because if they decide to leave, then well, I can't really do anything to catch them or anything like that. So I'm kind of hoping that we'll maybe be able to do something maybe a little bit quicker. That would be kind of nice. Let's actually see what's going on here. Ah, that's the war party. Okay, yeah, we're actually going to do something about that. Thank you very much. We're going to be moving in to help them. 179. Yeah, okay, 179 against our war party of 23 or whatever it was. I mean, really, that's just not fair, is it? That's just not fair at all. But yeah, we really do need to start trying to eliminate one of these factions, and obviously it looks as though, for me personally, I feel like the Fiers vein would probably be the easiest, because we've already taken 2 of their towns, and what else do they have? Well, they have a pretty significant section of Ravenstone territory. I didn't even help them do that, hilariously enough, but they are, you know, they have been, shall we say, very good at capturing, conquering, and all that stuff. So it is making things a little bit tricky for me, but that's okay. You know, we'll be okay. We'll be fine. We just need to make some good moves going forward. Make sure that we know exactly what we're doing and don't bite off too much. You know, we don't want to be in a situation where we're just going to be outnumbered, outgunned, or outskilled in any way. We always want to make sure that we have the advantage in some way or another, or we'll just destroy them, you know, because obviously in the previous episode we did have some pretty crazy siege stuff going on. Ooh, nice. Wow, we actually just eliminated a vassal there. Very good. Okay, yeah, so obviously this is going to be pretty simple for us. The funny thing is, I do feel like we should probably get some more T-Knights. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go into Ethos itself before we start making our way over to Valenray, and then we're just going to convert some of our Pendor Knights into T-Knights, and just have, shall we say, I think we should just start building a small force of these very, very powerful units. I mean, you've seen the stats. You know exactly how powerful they are. So, they're very good. Not as good as the Twilight Knight, unfortunately, in terms of HP at least, but definitely something to be careful of when it comes to its proficiencies. And there it is, 20 renown for us right there. And indeed, we're going to be taking him prisoner once again. Going to let this guy go. I'm going to take him prisoner as well, because he feels like, you know, he's ashamed or something like that from being taken prisoner. Okay, so do I want anything? Nope. Nope. I don't want anything from that. And do I want anything from this? Not really, actually. Not really. It's kind of sad, actually, that they are giving me such terrible prisoners, but there's not really much I can do about it, unfortunately. So yeah, we're just going to recruit from the surrounding villages, going to prepare a baggage train. Let's see if we can induct some. How do I induct people? There it is. Yes, 8 T-Knights. There we go, we did it. Okay, fantastic, very, very nice indeed. So now we have those guys, and they are incredibly good, as we know. Yes, we got 14 of these fellows. So I'm literally just going to show you their stats right now. As you can see, they have almost 600 in their proficiencies, which is amazing. I think Twilight Knights have 600, so just bear that in mind. And obviously, if you take a look at, for example, someone like Lethal Durin, right? If you take a look at him, he's actually worse than our current people, and he cannot train them any further. So yeah, we'll get some Magni, whatever they're called, and we'll place the rest of these people in the garrison here, because I want to be as fast as possible making my way downtown to Valenray. Okay, so I made it to Valenray, and they left. Yes, they left again. And it's actually quite surprising, because they're running around with about 800 to 1,000 troops right now, and I'm not entirely sure why they are running away from me, or I don't know. It's a bit weird. I mean, you know, all intents and purposes, the AI should be all over us. You know, we don't have anything super dramatically strong, so should be really easy for them. But apparently they're having some issues. Anyway, we are here at Yavexholm because I want to get a sally out. This is going to be some extremely easy renown for us right here. Just going to make sure that my forces are charging in straight away, because the Fiers Vein are, of course, otherwise just going to be attempting to murder us so heavily with their thrown... Yes. With their thrown weapons. I need to make sure I live with this as well, by the way. So if I don't live, this is going to be really bad. You know, it's these kinds of situations where I just kind of go, yeah, what's actually going on with me? Because I suck. What's happening right here? Okay, well, let's see if I can do something. Hello. Yes. Hello there, sir. Yeah, okay, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. There we go, there we go. This is what we want. This is the kind of situation we want. Are my forces doing okay, actually? Because it feels to me like they're not really doing very well, but maybe they are. All right, there we go. I was thinking to myself I was going to have some huge issues there, but yes, 102 renown is exactly what we needed. Thank you very much. Okay, so the question is, I'm actually going to abandon this real fast because what I want to do is I just want to check out something real quick here. Okay, yeah, no, I just want to make sure that we're always having the highest level troops that we can. I'm at 88% HP. Okay, that should be pretty good. Let's just make the ladders again. Now, as you can see, look at that. Valenray has been besieged once more. Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you these absolute scoundrels. And oh, and look at that. They've now stopped the siege. Okay, I'm going to go down here just purely because I want to see what's happening. I feel like it's a bit weird. Okay, they started it again. Okay. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Yeah, as you can see, they have a load of troops. Look at this. They have so many people. It's actually insane. Yeah, also, by the way... Oh, okay. Well, that's not very good. Why? What is... Oh, dearie me. What is actually going on with this game right now? This is actually hilarious. Okay, so we're getting some pretty significant... Oh, look at that. I actually got inventory management skill increased. Oh, that's pretty nice. All right. And we got 13 noble troops as well. Okay, that's pretty cool. And indeed, we are now at war against the Empire here as well. So this is really very bad. And indeed, they are now going in with 1,300 troops. Well... Yeah, there you go. All right, so yeah, this is... Oh, wow, this is a pretty bad one for us. Okay. Well, maybe it isn't. Maybe it's actually not so bad, because there's only one ladder, so it's highly unlikely they're going to be able to do anything here. Considering. Right? Right? Is that right? Is that right? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe they're going to actually be a lot more effective than we anticipate, but I mean, they're going to get absolutely slaughtered by basically all of our forces here. It's going to be extremely difficult for them to do much. Kind of need to get to the front here if I can. See if I can do some... Yeah, there we go. Nice. Okay. Little bit of damage. Little bit of damage. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, good. There we go. All right, so we eliminated a lot of the infantry so far. Oh, hello. Oh, I did not even realize. Oh, okay, that is bad. I should have realized this. I forgot about the ladder in the back. Yeah, I forgot about the ladder in the back. That is my bad. Ooh, okay, that's kind of harsh. Okay, we're not going to need to worry about this too much, I don't think, because the enemy is going to die when they come up here. Or at the very least, I will be murdering them as best as I can. Whoops. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. All right, well, that's fine. We don't actually need to worry about this, I don't think. As you can see, we have already eliminated 300 of the enemy's troops, and they only have 1,300. We have 300, right? 300 total, and we've only lost 50. 60, something like that. So the ratio is very much firmly in our favor, and indeed we do have extremely high tier units. None of my T-Knights are actually in the battle yet either. So if you think about it that way, we have the heavyweights still in the wings. So really, we don't really maybe have to super hardcore worry, maybe? I don't know. But we'll see how it goes over time. As you can obviously tell, we're taking quite some damage from the casualty list. That's not very, very nice, but it's okay. I mean, we do have Lethal Duran here, being lethal as much as he possibly can. Ah, there he is. Alright, I think that is Lethal Duran right there. I'm actually really, really intrigued to see what he's actually been doing, because he has gotten so many kills. I'm actually so surprised, because while he is extremely proficient, usually companions are not that good. Usually they're not going to get that many kills, but as you can see right here, he is shooting at a very weird angle. You can see the angle that he's shooting at right now, and he's getting kills every single time he unleashes his bow. Almost every single time. I'm literally just... I'm kind of jinxing him right now, which is somewhat unfortunate for him. And indeed, you know, by proxy, somewhat unfortunate for us as well, because he's not getting kills to help us to win. But yeah, you can see here that we are still absolutely fine. Our ratios are still great, mostly because the enemy is now throwing a lot of more low-tier troops at us in comparison to what they had at the very beginning of the siege, which of course were the very cream of the crop of their armies and so on. So this is going to be kind of interesting to see whether we can even attempt to capture these vassals. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. It just very much depends. But we are going to have to be ready to charge them just in case we don't get the ability to take them prisoner at the end. And there it is, 132 renown for us right there. And we did end up losing 14 troops, which I gotta say, let's face it, yeah, it's definitely painful to lose 4 hero adventurers, but worth it, right? Worth it for 132 renown. And indeed, we took out so many of the enemy's troops that we really don't have anything to say super, super bad things about. So I'm actually very, very pleased we were able to do that. And okay, we're gonna have to do a little bit of something here. We're gonna have to do some cleanup, aren't we? Yeah. So let's see. They only have 400 troops remaining, right? Yeah, they only have 400 troops remaining. The question is, do we have enough people to actually handle this? Yeah. We've got 25 out of 36. Yeah, we got a whole bunch. Okay, so let's make our way in. Is this actually going to work? Oh, yeah, no, this is definitely going to work. Okay, they've only got 300. I thought they had 400, which may have been a little bit dicey. But, I mean, to be fair, our forces are not that numerous now. And I'm very low in HP, so it's probably not going to be working out too well for us. But I guess we're just going to have to give it a go and see what happens. I mean, I think we should be fine. But let's just hope that they actually are a bit aggressive. I wouldn't mind if they were a bit aggressive right now. We have so many cavalry as well. I mean, technically, I can just charge them, and I could just be very aggressive here and probably make very good headway. I should be a little bit careful here. Oh, yeah. Don't want to get killed by that. Thank you very much. Do not want to get killed by that. Okay, let's just be a little bit careful. Okay, not too bad. Okay, I'm just being a little bit careful here. I do not want to die. Thank you very much. There we go. Okay, good distraction though. Good distraction. We do have the ability to get these guys facing away from our archers, so their shields are all completely useless, which is exactly what we wanted. Okay, let's tell everyone to charge in now. And we've already eliminated 50 of them, so that's great. And let's try not to get ourselves killed in the meantime. And we should be good. If I can prevent myself from dying, that would be nice. Yeah, anyway, there you go. I think we're actually okay. Yeah, we've killed 100 now. There's only another 200 to go. And for me personally, I do feel as though they are probably done. even at this point, because you could see here, look at what they have. They are literally running at us with literal farmers. Yes, literal farmers and things like that. And that's definitely not going to be super legit for them. Wow, yeah, that was some massive damage right there. Maybe we can do a little bit more. I'm actually quite liking the lance. I actually quite like this lance. Not terrible. It is obviously a little bit difficult to use against the higher armor targets because they just have so much armor. It's a little bit difficult to actually do damage with that, especially considering, I mean, we have a piercing weapon. It should technically do pretty good damage, but obviously because it's such a low value, or should we say it has a low damage value, it is going to make a big difference to how much damage you can actually do. But yeah, not too bad. You know, 17 kills. I guess that's okay. You know, I obviously don't really try super hard in these kinds of things because first of all, I don't want to die. You know, and second of all, it's not necessary because we're doing pretty nicely as it is. One thing that I really want to do though is I want to capture Yaviksholm. If we can do that, that actually eliminates. I think they have no other towns. I think they have no other towns. So if that is indeed the case, which I think it is, then we are going to be cutting off a massive supply of the economy for them. So there's another 30 renown for us right there. I'm going to be letting this guy go. Going to take this guy prisoner. Going to let this guy go. Going to let this guy go. Let this guy go. Take this guy prisoner. Let this guy go. And that is it. There we go. Okay, fantastic. Let's see if there's a gold bar. No gold bars, but obviously I don't have any Qualis gems anymore, so basically makes no difference anyway. But you know, it's nice to check it out just to make sure that we're not missing out. And otherwise, we do have some potential. Yeah, no, we don't have any potential. Okay, I guess I will get a Seer Favorite, and we will get the Worshippers and the Minions and stuff like that, because they do level up into Heretic Magni, which is, I guess, good. But yeah, I guess, you know what, I will take all of these just because I am going to need to place them in the garrison here in Valenray, because you could quite clearly tell we need the help, don't we? We need the help here for some reason. I don't know why it's taking so long for them to place all these troops in here, but because we do have automatic recruiting going on as well, so a little bit strange that it's taking so long for them to do that. But you know, because in Ethos they were done very quickly, so I guess it's just because this has been under siege so many times and they're making things very annoying and very uncomfortable for us. So that's a bit frustrating, I guess. Anyway, we are now done with the wide variety of encounters we've had, and indeed there is actually a ransom broker there. Oh, an adventurer! Yes! There we go. Thank you, sir. Thank you for appearing and actually helping me out. Yes, that is wonderful. I very much appreciate that. That is wonderful. That is so good. Now we are going to be able to get more hero adventurers. I'm very excited about that. Okay, that is going to be it for this episode. We are now at war against the Empire and the Dashar and the Fiers vein. But as you can see, yes, Yaviksholm is the only town they have. So if we can go on a bit of a siege spree and take Yaviksholm, then we might be able to take these other two castles right near here. Maybe even go back to Nadar Castle and do that if we have enough time to do so. Obviously, here's the thing. We may have to let Ethos get taken, which I really don't want to do. But anyway, we'll see if that is necessary. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.